This evening, Joel Spooner appeared in court charged for the murder of his 19-year-old girlfriend. Teenager allegedly stabbed by her lover over $1,000. Northwest man wanted by the cops for fatally stabbing his foster son during a drunken argument. Internationally, at least one was killed as police opened fire at Sri Lanka protesters. And seismic waves, IMF cuts global growth forecast over Russia war. Greetings and welcome to another edition of Channel 2 Headline News Updates. I am Bibi Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. Attorney at law Nirvana Singh has been charged with making racial remarks to police constable Shonit Bowlers. Esther Sobers has more.
A prominent lawyer has found himself in deep waters over an alleged racial slur directed to a police officer. Attorney at law Nirvana Singh was charged with racial remarks towards Constable Shonit Bowlers in the Georgetown Magistrates Court today, April 20, 2022. Singh appeared before Chief Magistrate Anne McLennan and pleaded not guilty. He was placed on $100,000 bail and instructed by the court not to contact Bowlers by any means. The court heard that the incident occurred on March 20, 2022. Singh hurled racial comments towards the constable. Bowlers claimed the incident occurred while she was performing guard duties at the residence of Singh's father, retired Chancellor of the Judiciary Justice Karl Singh. The police investigation was conducted into the allegation that attorney Nirvana Singh assaulted and hurled racial insults to the woman police constable. The case file has been sent to the Director of Public Prosecutions for legal advice. Bowlers stated that Singh approached and chased her off the property while on duty. She said that she was forced to immediately abandon her post and duties, walking for a couple of miles to another location. In the dark of night alone, end quote, in a loud and aggressive manner, she said that Singh berated her for about a quarter of an hour, then began using a series of defamatory words and racist expressions. Bowlers has since filed $150 million lawsuit against Nirvana Singh. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. Continuing on our coverage of the courtroom proceedings, 21-year-old Joel Spooner appeared before Magistrate Judy Latchman at the Diamond Grove Magistrates Court today, where he was not required to plead to the charge of the brutal murder of his 19-year-old girlfriend, Shanice Walks, who was a mother of one and a primary school teacher. Police believe that she was slain between 3:30 p.m. on April 12th and 11:45 a.m. on April 13th. Spooner allegedly confessed to the heinous crime, claiming that he had stabbed Walk while attempting to take away a knife from her during an argument. He was terrified when he discovered what had transpired, so he secured the home and departed. Spooner contacted his brother and related what had happened. He was later escorted to the Grove police station. Spooner was remanded to prison until May 17, 2022. A young woman has been the latest victim of a string of domestic abuse incidents at the hands of her lover. Esther Sobers has more details.
A woman is now left permanently scarred after she was stabbed multiple times by the father of her 3 children for allegedly taking $1,000 from his pocket. The gruesome ordeal occurred on Tuesday, April 19, 2022. The victim has been identified as Keish. Headline News understands that the suspect is 20-year-old Jamala Silva, a pump attendant who resides at Suzaik Pump Station Road, East Bangdarara. According to information received, the couple does not live together. However, the Silva spent Monday evening at the home of his children's mother. On Tuesday morning, the woman allegedly took $1,000 from the Silva's pocket to buy something for their children. This enraged the man. He subsequently stabbed Osborne multiple times in the legs. She was taken to the Georgetown Public Hospital where she was treated and sent home. After press time, the police were on the hunt for the suspect. As domestic violence continues to be on the rise, women are being abused daily. Many cases go unreported by the victim or unnoticed by the media. However, women have been battered and have even died at the hands of their abusers. Over the past 2 weeks, several women have lost their lives to domestic violence. Last week, a 19-year-old teacher died due to domestic abuse by her partner, 21-year-old Joel Spooner. If you are being abused or know of anyone who is, call 914 hotlines set up by the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security and speak with someone who can help. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. Stick around after the break. Northwest man wanted by the cops for fatally stabbing his foster son during a drunken argument, and the Ministry of Labor and the Ghana Police Force signed 2 agreements to provide training to disadvantaged adolescents and retired police officers.
At John Lewis Styles, we carry only first quality, men's and women's clothing, footwear, and accessories. As authorized dealers, our items come directly from the manufacturing brands and are available in all sizes and colors. What we sell was never on display in another store. It's time you know the truth about what you buy. Come visit us on Waterloo Street. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Maison Francois is the chocolate paradise of Guyana. From the moment you enter our store, you are welcomed by the sweet aroma of Belgian chocolate, pastries, and other artisanal treats handmade by our European-trained chef. Our convenient location at the City Mall is the perfect place to take that special someone or to take home a little sweetness. So treat yourself with a taste of Paris in the heart of Georgetown, only at Maison Francois.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
Welcome back. On Tuesday, the Minister of Home Affairs, Robertson Ban, and Acting Commissioner of Police, Mr. Clifton Hickins, met with over 100 female police officers from within the various police divisions at the Officers Training Center, Camp Road, Georgetown. The meeting with the female police ranks centered on dealing with domestic and gender-based violence reports, dealing with the victims, and the need to ensure the right attitude and empathy are displayed when handling such delicate and sensitive matters. During his address, address to the female ranks, Minister Ben noted that the issue of sexual harassment and domestic violence are troubling and a danger not only to women in the police force but also to society. The Home Affairs Minister pointed out that a sore issue of domestic violence cases is that oftentimes it is not being taken seriously by police ranks at the stations. He noted that there has been reports of recurrent situations where women complain that they go to the police stations and are turned away and sometimes even by female officers. Owing to that, Minister Ben appealed to the female officers to be hands-on and more empathetic when dealing with such reports, while urging them that they should be champions in such matters. Acting Commissioner Clifton Hicken, in his remarks to the female ranks, noted that the police force recognizes that domestic violence and gender-based violence are topical issues and partnering with organizations is necessary. He reminded the female ranks that they are supposed to be championing domestic violence because in most of the reports coming in, the victims are females. He issued a stern warning that indiscipline and unprofessionalism would not be condoned. The Ghana Police Force is looking for a man from the Northwest who is wanted for the murder of his foster son following a bar argument. Esther Sobers has the details.
Police in Regional Division 1 are on the hunt for 30-year-old man Nigel Abrams of Lower Backwater River, Bamia, Northwest District, in connection with the murder of a male of Amerindian descent in Blackwater, Northwest District on Sunday, April 17, 2022. The dead man has been identified as Daniel Wilson. Reports are that around 11 p.m., Daniel Wilson, now deceased, his cousin Ron Munsami, and his foster father Nigel Abrams were drinking together when an altercation erupted, leading Abraham to stab William with a knife. Munsami intervened and tried to save William, but Abraham reportedly turned on him with the knife and stabbed him. Munsami was transported to Mabaruma Public Hospital in severe condition before being transported to Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation for further treatment. Wilson was pronounced dead. The body is presently at the Mabaruma Hospital mortuary awaiting a post-mortem examination. The Ghana Police Force has issued a wanted bulletin for 30-year-old Nigel Abraham. Please notify the police at 216-0251 or 225-8196 or the local police station if you see Abram or have any information regarding his whereabouts. All information will be treated with the strictest confidence. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. On Tuesday, the Ministry of Labour and the Ghana Police Force signed 2 agreements aimed at offering training to youths in vulnerable communities and retired police personnel. The training will prepare police personnel for life after the police force. During a brief remark, Minister of Labour Joseph Hamilton said that for the youth, the aim is to equip them with skills and knowledge to become employable or entrepreneurs. Hence, the police force's presence is needed, as it has already established relationships with these communities to assist the ministry in identifying their social issues. A similar program has been held in Caneville community on the east bank of the Marara. Those who complete this training will then be allowed to utilize the Central Recruitment and Manpower Agency. Beyond training programs, the second agreement would allow the ministry's co-op department to partner with the police force to strengthen the duties of its cooperative society to secure members' interests. About 12 policing districts will play a role in this initiative. The public will also be kept informed of which community will be benefiting from the training initiative via a monthly report. A foundation will also be established to create a more transparent and sustained way for youths to benefit. Funded by the private sector, it will comprise members of cooperative societies, the media, fraternity, among other prominent community figures. Additionally, the ministry is exploring options to provide occupational safety and health training to officers to address work-related deaths and incidents. Don't go away after the break. Seismic waves, IMF cuts global growth forecast over Russia war, and at least 15 killed in Kabul bomb blast near schools. But before that, here's the rate retraction schedule.
At John Lewis Styles, we carry only first quality, men's and women's clothing, footwear, and accessories. As authorized dealers, our items come directly from the manufacturing brands and are available in all sizes and colors. What we sell was never on display in another store. It's time you know the truth about what you buy. Come visit us on Waterloo Street. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lenders, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Maison Francois is the chocolate paradise of Guyana. From the moment you enter our store, you are welcomed by the sweet aroma of Belgian chocolate, pastries and other artisanal treats handmade by our European-trained chef. Our convenient location at the City Mall is the perfect place to take that special someone or to take home a little sweetness. So treat yourself with a taste of Paris in the heart of Georgetown, only at Maison Francois.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
In a world filled with copycats and ever-changing trends, make your property stand out with unique concrete moldings. Different, exquisite designs carefully handcrafted to suit your style, with various customizable and antique and modern designs made at our factory. Antique and Modern Molding Establishment. We make your property outstanding. We make and install all moldings anywhere in Guyana.
The best quality, affordable prices, on-the-spot quotes, and no hidden fees.
Call us or WhatsApp us at 684-5050 or email us at modernestab@gmail.com. Antique and Modern Molding Establishment, made to stand out.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 4-6 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at news in the region and around the world. At least 15 people have been killed in bomb attacks in Afghanistan's capital. The blast took place near 2 educational institutions in the west of the capital, Kabul. Al Jazeera's Fitan Monaghan reports.
Blood on the streets of Kabul. Explosives detonated near this school as children were leaving their morning classes. Several people are dead and children are among the injured.
We are close to the school. I quickly came to the site when the first blast happened to see if everything was okay. I went to the top of my house to see what was going on. There was a crowd of people over there. I was standing on the roof of my house and called my children to enter the home. Suddenly, the second blast happened and I got injured.
The victims are members of the Hazara, a Shia minority group. Their community and this neighborhood have previously been targets of ISIL attacks. The governing Taliban says the security situation is under control, but analysts warn that violence may be on the rise.
The most important thing that we have to talk about and we have to consider is the fragile nature of the security. It can easily be disrupted, it can easily be put in danger, as we have seen today. So therefore, I think a lot has to be done on the part of the Taliban to provide a full-fledged security to the entire population of Afghanistan. But it is going to be impossible for them, because if you see the economic hardship, the disenfranchisement, and the public discontent that is growing with every passing day, all those things combined together, I think it is going to be very difficult for them.
Back at the school, security forces arrived to seal off the area. The Taliban has been cracking down on armed groups since it came to power in August. But this latest attack is a reminder that security remains one of its biggest challenges. Vincent Monaghan, Al Jazeera.
At least one person has been killed and 13 others wounded after police opened fire at a group of people protesting new fuel prices increases in central Sri Lanka. Al Jazeera's Manili Fernandez reports.
Shock and terror as police opened fire against unarmed protesters in Rambukana, Sri Lanka. The protesters had blocked a rail track hours after the government raised fuel prices by more than 130% on Tuesday. 24 people were injured, including 8 policemen. Many of them bleeding heavily were taken to the hospital. In an audio statement, police spokesman Nihal Taldua blamed protesters for the violence.
They were warned repeatedly to despair, but protesters did not listen. They tried to set fire to a tanker, burnt a 3-wheeler taxi and damaged property. Police used tear gas to break up the crowd, at which point the crowd responded by throwing stones. In order to control the situation, the police opened fire.
Police say they used minimum force to stop the group from trying to set fire to an oil tanker full of fuel. But rights activists have expressed skepticism at this explanation. They say there is no justification for using live ammunition against protesters. Similar protests were organized across the country as protesters barricaded access roads against the worsening economic conditions. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa is facing increasing demands to step down in a campaign called Gota Go Home, which has seen thousands of protesters surround his office for more than a week. He's refused to quit, but appointed a new cabinet on Monday. But that doesn't seem to have worked. Senior doctors joined colleagues outside the largest children's hospital to protest against shortages of medicine and other medical supplies. Depleted foreign reserves means the government has no money to buy basic medical requirements.
We have a severe shortage of shooter material right now. So we have to curtail some surgeries. So we have to keep whatever the available suture material only for emergency. Just an example. The list is very long.
Thousands of people joined a protest march organized by the National People's Power Coalition that reached Colombo from Berola in the south.
Things are getting worse day by day and it's affecting the kitchen, and we can't face it any longer.
Opposition parties say they are working on a no-confidence motion against the government and considering introducing a constitutional amendment seeking to reduce the powers of the executive presidency. Protesters say they won't be fooled by quick fixes. Binay Fernandez, Al Jazeera, Colombo.
And finally, the International Monetary Fund slashed its forecast for global economic growth by nearly a full percentage point, citing Russia's war in Ukraine, and warned inflation was now a clear and present danger for many countries. Al Jazeera's Shihab Ratansi reports.
The IMF's projections for the world economy have worsened significantly since its last report in January, when it predicted a post-pandemic recovery. The reason is clear.
Global economic prospects have been severely set back, largely because of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. This crisis unfolds as the global economy has not yet fully recovered from the pandemic.
From an estimated 6.1% in 2021, the IMF now says economic growth will shrink to 3.6% in 2022 and 2023. The fund says that inflation, already surging due to the pandemic, will be amplified due to war-related supply shortages. And its World Economic Outlook says increases in food and fuel prices could lead to social unrest. However, the IMF also said inflation for advanced economies may fall to 2.5% next year. Some economists say that should mean a change in course to prevent a devastating global recession.
Threatening to do what it's done many times before, which is to increase interest rates unnecessarily. And that affects the whole world because interest rates of other central banks tend to follow the Fed in the world. And that makes it more difficult for developing countries to avoid crises, economic crises that push millions of people into poverty.
But such is the uncertainty about the war in Ukraine, further energy sanctions on Russia, future deadly COVID variants, and more supply bottlenecks in China, the IMF says its latest predictions may be too optimistic. To coincide with the IMF spring meetings, Oxfam has released a study predicting that the pandemic and the war in Ukraine could push more than 263 million people into extreme poverty in 2022. The charity is calling on the IMF to stop increasing hardship due to its insistence on conditioning loans to the developing world on implementing austerity policies, while it warns rich nations to avoid cutting spending to preserve what economic recovery there is.
The managing director has said that the suffocating of force of austerity should not be in Europe. But we don't see the same in developing countries and in poorer countries.
Oxfam says there's a disconnect between the IMF's research, which discusses increased social unrest and more hunger because of the pandemic and the war, and the IMF's actual policy prescriptions for the most needy nations, which demand the slashing of the social safety net, ending subsidies on cooking gas, increasing taxes on food, and freezing public sector pay. Shihab Ratansi, Al Jazeera, Washington.
And that is it for today's regional and international news. Here now is your 3-day weather forecast. And that is all for this edition of Channel 2 Headline News Updates. Tune in on Thursday at 7 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.